Kathy, Ron, as the government accuses him of being a political Pinocchio and worse, former Governor Rod Blagojevich tonight has taken cover at the Magic Kingdom in Florida. But Mr. Blagojevich's fairy tale trip was interrupted today by his federal indictment. As Elvis sang it in 2002, Rod Blagojevich was indeed planning to leave town with a fortune in stolen state funds, according to federal prosecutors. Even here, when Blagojevich was still just a candidate for governor, he had allegedly set the stage for a massive corruption scheme, allegedly conniving with his brother Robert, his close friend and fundraiser Chris Kelly, and business magnate Tony Rezko, all with him that night and all intimately involved 7 years later in today's indictment. Blagojevich, his brother, and Kelly all indicted on racketeering charges, along with former chiefs of staff Lon Monk and John Harris and political power broker William Cellini.
Governor Blagojevich allegedly was consistently using his power as governor to try to get money for his campaign fund for himself, for his wife.
When the governor...
Rod Blagojevich has had a limited use of his campaign funds to pay for some of his legal expenses. The indictment today seeks the forfeiture of money in the Friends of Blagojevich campaign fund. The government is also going after other alleged ill-gotten gains and could seize his home. All of this raises the question, how does Blagojevich pay for a defense that will cost a lot of money?
Everything I do is always predicated on the assumption that what we do is within the framework of the Constitution.
That's not the way the government sees it. At its core, the indictment of Rod Blagojevich accuses him of the theft of honest services to the people of Illinois. That was also the foundation of the government's case against George Ryan.
It's very much like George Ryan's indictment, and looking ahead to the trial, I see a lot of document review, just like we had in George Ryan's case, punctuated with some very spicy tapes.
Hey, Lon. How are you?
The playing of those tapes and the trial itself may easily be 2 years away. It will be a long, expensive procedure. It was for George Ryan, who received a pro bono defense that by some estimates cost the law firm of Winston & Strawn roughly $20 million, though they've never confirmed that amount. Some lawyers believe defending Blagojevich could cost that much and more, except this former governor does not have a big law firm ready to work for free. His former lead lawyer left the case 2 months ago, and while he does have two well-respected attorneys preparing his defense, they may not be able to access his political fund to get paid. Today's indictment seeks the forfeiture of Friends of Blagojevich campaign funds in 4 banks, as well as just over $188,000 in alleged ill-gotten gains. And if that money isn't recoverable, the government would be prepared to seize Blagojevich's Chicago home and an apartment he holds in Washington, D.C.
They're entitled to do that if there's a nexus or a connection between how he finances his house and the crimes. But it's pretty aggressive. I mean, you don't often see them go after somebody's house.
If the former governor has no job, if his family has no significant income, if he can't access his campaign fund or no one gifts his defense effort, and his financial liabilities outweigh his assets, it's possible Rod Blagojevich might wind up asking the court to pay for his defense from funds in the federal public defender program. That'd mean taxpayers would pay for it. Some think that's not likely, but it is possible.
Do we know tonight who heads his defense team?
Sheldon Soroski is an attorney of record, and Terry Gillespie has said that he would take the case. But they will encounter enormous costs just from copying documents alone. It's enormously expensive, and it'll go on for a long time.